A few things I want to put up front for media. We are going to be limited on our questions, so please be patient. We also have some new faces, so please identify which media agency you're affiliated with prior to asking any questions. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today, the Oakland Police Department had scheduled a press conference regarding the Strategic Policy Partnership. This refers to the Oakland Crime Reduction Project. This is through the Bratton Group and the report. That was scheduled to be released today. Later this morning, we received notification from Chief Jordan that he was taking steps towards a medical retirement. So we have shifted our focus for our press conference today, and we are here to address some of the questions and information that we would like to get out to the community. Today, I'm sorry?
And you're going to have a press.
That's correct. As far as the Bratton Group's findings and recommendation, that particular report, we will follow that up with a press conference tomorrow. So we want to really focus on the events today, and we will address the report tomorrow. Today with us, there will be speaking City Administrator Deanna Santana, Mayor Jean Quan, Assistant Chief Anthony Toribio, and Chief Harnett. Chief Harnett is with the Bratton Group. He is here with his staff today. He will briefly speak about the events tomorrow with our press conference and the report that we'll be issuing and discussing tomorrow. But today we are focusing on the information that we have received, the notification for Chief Jordan and his medical retirement and the steps that are taking place right now. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the City Administrator. Please hold your questions until everyone has spoken, and then we'll open it up for questions. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I am here to confirm that this morning I did receive notice from Chief Howard Jordan that effective immediately he is on medical leave and taking steps toward a medical retirement. As I just stated, his absence is effective immediately. As with any other absence from the department, Assistant Chief Toribio is in charge of day-to-day operations. We have been in contact with the Compliance Director and the Federal Monitor. They are aware of these set of events. We are working closely with them on the next steps towards seating a permanent police chief, including a national search. And as new information develops, as always, we will continue to keep you informed. I do want to take a moment of personal privilege and thank Chief Jordan for his 25 years of service. He lives the values of the Oakland Police Department. He is highly professional. He carried those values with pride and is committed to the department. I also want to thank the OPD command staff, who also lives the OPD values and is highly professional and committed to the great city that we serve. I know they will serve us well during this transition, and they will lead our workforce as we police the city of Oakland. I want to acknowledge our workforce who is out there every day policing our great city toward a secure and safe community. We are a family, and we will stick together during this transition. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Well, as the city administrator said, this is not exactly the press conference we thought we were going to have today. I'm personally was very saddened and surprised to hear the chief's decision this morning, but I trust that he's doing what's best for himself and for his family. I met Howard Jordan when he was a young lieutenant who the city assigned to the Oakland Public Schools to help us professionalize our police force. The Oakland Public Schools is a large institution in charge of 30 to 50,000 kids, and we needed to have a school police force that was professional, that could protect children, that could keep campuses safe in sometimes very unsafe neighborhood. And what I learned then, which I've been happy to see over the years, is that this is a man who could talk to young people, who would walk the walk. The first week that I was mayor and I was knocking on doors, I noticed a tall man wearing a windbreaker across the street walking on the other side of the street with me. And then it took me a while to realize it was Howard, that he'd just come out to a community walk in one of the neighborhoods I've adopted and was just knocking on the door like all and any of our other volunteers. He has had a great career. He's come up from the ranks, and he served the city well. So I'm very sad to lose him. However, as mayor, we know we will have to continue to move forward. I've had a chance to speak to a lot of the command staff today. We're on the verge of implementing some fairly substantial reorganizations, moving a lot more of the policing to the community level, a lot more of the investigations, specialized units on the neighborhood level, both to be more effective, and you'll learn more about that from the Bratton Group, to be more effective and to be closer tied to the community. I'm making a commitment to do a national search for a new police chief. We will be letting you know about that. We literally have not had much time today to talk to anyone, and as we move forward, we will make those announcements. As I said, today we plan to roll out the Bratton report that will strengthen investigations, particularly impacts on robberies and burglaries. You may remember last December, I went to the council and said that we needed to have really the best, given our numbers in police, we needed to have the best advice we could to make improvements, that the numbers of crimes and robberies were way too high, our numbers of officers were not enough. We needed to reorganize to be more effective. And it has actually been a real pleasure to work with the Bratton Group, with Chief Bratton, with Chief Harnett, also from New York, and the other chiefs, and watch them work with our force and watch our force feel like they were improving and that they are getting better. And so I'd like to introduce Assistant Chief Toribio, who is going to talk a little bit about that and how we as the city and the Oakland Police Department don't plan to skip a beat. We plan to put the plan into action and to try to improve policing in the city and to bring down crime in every neighborhood. Chief Toribio.
Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Toribio, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y-T-O-R-I-B as in boy, I-O. Chief Jordan's announcement today was unexpected. I understand that the suddenness of this change may cause uncertainty both within and outside of the department. By the very manner of our structure and organization, Chief Jordan's departure causes no uncertainty in the department's mission, focus, or progress. As Assistant Chief, I carry the same commitment to the work now underway. This includes day-to-day operations and short-term and long-term strategies to improve and provide the best public safety service possible to our community. One of these strategies underway centers on our implementation of the Bratton Plan, a renewed and redesigned focus on homicides, shootings, robberies, and burglaries. Chief Jordan enthusiastically embraced these initiatives, as do I, and as does every member of the command staff. We have enjoyed success in this recent past because of the vision and values we share. In short, regardless of the circumstances, to the police department's focus and dedication to service exists. To our important community members and leaders, you can expect the same value of collaboration, progress, and commitment to our shared goals and successes. I would now like to introduce Chief Pat Harnett of the Bratton Group.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon. I first met Howard Jordan 6 years ago when I first visited the Oakland Police Department and was part of a project to doing an organizational review. At that time, we recommended a neighborhood policing plan with dividing the city into districts with captains in charge of each of those districts. Several months ago, I was approached by Bill Bratton to be part of the Bratton team to return to Oakland and work with Chief Jordan the command staff and the department because they were implementing the neighborhood policing plan with the 5 districts and a captain in charge of each district. But the Bratton team was specifically focused on to look at the CompStat process, a process which began in NYPD back in 1994, which has been adapted throughout the country in major police departments to bring together all the elements of the department. It's not just a meeting, it's a process which can lead to crime reduction and can lead to attachment with the police department at every level with the community. So in the last 2 months, myself and the team have been dealing with the command staff and with people in the districts and people in the community to further implement the neighborhood policing plan. Our focus, again, was on the CompStat process and on the issue of robbery, burglary, and the shootings, and how we can best attack these issues, these crimes in this city. And so I came here on Tuesday with the anticipation that Chief Jordan would be standing beside us as he fully implements the plan which we put forward to him and the command staff. And so I'm sorry that the chief will not be here, but I got to say that it's more important that the neighborhood policing plan and fighting crime in the city of Oakland will move forward. And I have full confidence in Chief Toribio, the command staff, the commitment of the mayor towards this neighborhood policing. And I think tomorrow will be available for further in-depth discussion of what we're recommending. The one recommending thing is the district investigation units, that rather than having detectives be separated and central investigators, that these investigators be part of the team at the local district level, addressing these robberies, addressing these burglaries, working closer with the community to reduce crime, disorder, and fear in this city. So with that, I think, John?
Chief, may I ask you to spell your name for media, please?
Harnett. First name is Patrick.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
One of the focuses on the plan is robberies, shootings, and burglaries. So that will be discussed further tomorrow. We don't have a time set, but we will certainly provide that time and location for you tomorrow once we have that information. Again, today we had events that we are making adjustments, and we're trying to provide you with as much information as we can. So we appreciate your patience. Thank you very much. And also know that before we enter the questions, we are limited to what we can discuss. So please be patient with some of the answers or not being able to provide you with answers. Okay? And at this time, we'll go ahead and open it up. Jody, you have your hand up first, so we'll start with you.
Jody Hernandez, NBC Bay Area. I don't know if any of you have talked to the chief today, but I'm just wondering, obviously there's a lot of concern over his medical condition. How is he doing? How is he feeling? What can you tell us?
I have been in communication with the chief all day. I cannot share any medical information other than he is on medical leave, and he is taking the task towards a medical retirement.
Can you tell us how he's feeling about this very difficult decision or what he shared?
I can't. It would not be fair to the chief. These are personal decisions, and he is on medical leave.
Hi, Lee Romney with the LA Times. A week ago, Tom Frazier's report came out, and it was fairly critical of executive leadership. Tom Frazier has the power to recommend personnel changes at the chief's level. Can you speak at all to whether Tom Frazier was pressing for the chief to retire, or whether Tom Frazier was involved in these discussions in any way at all?
We have the mayor and I have been in conversation with the compliance director as well as the federal monitor around the events of today. I am going to just acknowledge again once and confirm the set of facts. The chief has provided notice that he is on medical leave and taking steps towards a medical retirement. And we are working collaboratively with the compliance director as well as with the federal monitor towards the next steps to seating a permanent chief.
Was there any indication that Amber Lee with KTVU Channel 2, was there any indication that the federal monitor or the compliance director was going to take steps to remove chief?
You know what? I'm sorry, but I feel like that's already been asked and answered. We have a lot of people in this room who want to move on to a different question. Yes.
Actually, that wasn't addressed. We're asking something previous to today. Did the compliance director make any indications that he was going to seek the removal of the chief prior to today?
I'm going to just once again state and confirm the facts as we know them and as I received them. The chief provided me notice early this morning that he is on medical leave and taking steps towards a medical retirement.
Anybody have a different question? Yes, right there. Go ahead.
Dario Macaria with Univision, Interim Chief. I just want to know if you speak Spanish, and if so, what's the challenge you see taking over your position?
I speak broken Spanish, and we will accommodate your request after the interview. Excuse me. I believe that we are in the process of building irreversible momentum in terms of making this organization more professional, more efficient, and enhancing the level of service that we provide to the community. Chief Jordan started several initiatives such as ceasefire, the reorganization of our patrol structure to a more neighborhood type of structure, an enhanced CompStat, and what you will hear more about tomorrow is the decentralization of our investigative unit to the neighborhood level. So we have a lot of things in progress. I believe that we're moving in the right direction. We're working collaboratively with the compliance director, the monitor, and we're all focused in continuing our efforts to become a more of a contemporary agency.
Okay, hold on one second. I've got Jeff right here.
Jeff Tunnell with the Bay City News, and this is, I guess, for Chief Trivio and or the mayor. Just to clarify the current situation, I've heard you referred to as still assistant chief. So just so we're clear on your title right now, is it acting chief, assistant chief, or what? You know, what's so the public and you could.
Yes, the situation right now is no different than when the chief goes on vacation or is away on work-related issues. I am running the day-to-day operations of the department. The initiatives that have been started prior to the chief's absence are still moving forward, and we will be working very hard to continue those efforts to reduce crime, to get into compliance, and nothing has really changed.
Just in terms of your title, are you acting?
Yes, I'm the acting chief. Yes, sir.
Chief, go ahead, Nick.
Chief Nixon, Deputy C7. Chief Trivio, your last two predecessors haven't lasted in that position long. Uneasy, lies ahead, and wears the crown. Is it a position that you want? Are you going to throw your name into the ring as Mayor KRON does her nationwide search?
I think it would be presumptive of me to make any type of comments about that topic. What I will tell you is that I'm very focused on moving forward with this department. As I said earlier, we have started a lot of important initiatives, and my focus will be to carry out those initiatives.
Okay, we're going to go with Jen.
Jen Ward, Scenes from Oakland. I guess, Ms. Santana, if you can just sort of clarify why it is you don't want to address the question connected with Mr. Frazier possibly removing the chief.
Sorry, Jen, I'm going to cut you off because
but she didn't explain why.
I understand, but I do believe she did offer the best explanation at this time. So go ahead, Kristen.
Kristen Ayers of KGIS 5. I guess I'm trying to get a sense of why this was so abrupt. Everyone here seems kind of blindsided. Any indication of why this came out so late and so abruptly? Anyone?
any decision that is based on medical leave and taking steps towards a medical retirement is obviously focused and founded on your own personal set of information and factors. And so, obviously, the chief was aware of his own personal set of factors and made a decision in his best interest at the time that he thought was appropriate. And we respect that, we receive that, and we are prepared to move forward.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Bob Gammon, East Bay Express, question for Mayor KRON. So you're in contact with both the compliance director and the monitor today. What roles, if any, are they going to play in hiring the new chief? Do they have to have final decision making on that, or how's that going to play out?
It's an interesting question that we're actually not sure. We believe we have the hiring authority, but I also know that under the latest judge's order, they're probably going to want some input. And so that's why we're not talking about that, because we haven't even had the chance to have that conversation with them yet.
Mayor KRON?
Okay, hold on one second.
It's
Go
up
ahead,
to her.
JR.
J.R. Stone with KRON 4. Mayor Kwan, over the last couple of years, the chief seemed to be sort of your right-hand man. And now we're sitting here today with so little details about his departure. How much of a blow is this for the city and the police department?
You know, I was a school board member, and superintendents last about 3 years these days. And so these are hard jobs. The mayors often outlast our police chiefs, right, because they're very tough jobs. But, you know, I take Howard at his word. I think he loves this job. I think he loves the city. I think he had to make a decision about his health and his family.
Ron, did you have a question back there? Yes, absolutely.
Again, just because he is on medical leave and seeking a medical retirement, the set of information that we normally could share is very limited, as John has started out the press conference. And so it is for that reason that it feels somewhat incomplete. I get what you're saying, but we're just not privileged to share that type of information.
Rob, hold on a second.
Yes.
Hold on. Rob?
Yes.
Go ahead, Rob.
Rob Rock, KTVU. Mayor KRON, did you speak with Chief Jordan today? If so, could you share your conversation?
We've been playing phone tag, so I'm actually hoping to catch up with him.
You have not spoken?
No, she was the one that spoke to him, called me immediately. He called me, I've called him. We've been just playing phone tag today.
Were you surprised by the...
Absolutely. I said in the beginning I was surprised and saddened.
Nick, you had another question?
Mayor KRON, last question I have for you. I attended some of your community meetings. Chief Jordan was there with you. One of the things that people voiced you over and over again is that it seems like the city takes 2 steps forward, then takes 2 steps back.
You know, again, I want you to come tomorrow. I know you're all here today. I want you to come and listen to the Bratton report. I want you to hear from Chief Harnett how he thinks that they've made a lot of progress just in the few months they've already started implementing things. So I think the city's moving forward everywhere. I mean, we're moving forward and being named the most exciting city. Certainly today isn't a surprise. You know, the best place for singles, New York Times, the economy's up. We have a lot of good economic announcements today, and in crime we're starting to get a handle on it. So I think that you have to look at the men behind me, and I'm working on getting some women, that these are people who put a lot of heart into working on the change here, to making a commitment for community policing. So although we've lost Chief Jordan, we have a lot of other new leaders that are emerging, new officers that we've recruited for our academy. So I think we're going to continue to move forward. As mayor, as you know, I have had a lot of surprises. I don't get to feel sorry for myself. I don't get to stop. We just keep going, and I truly do. I hope you hear my true affection for the chief and best wishes for him and his family.
I'd like to acknowledge the command staff that is standing up here with our city leaders. We have Deputy Chief Wint, Deputy Chief Rochelle, and Deputy Chief Brashears, as well as Captain Figueroa. We also have, I want to thank the members of the Bratton team who are here and are extending their stay so they can address media tomorrow about a very important plan that's being implemented in the city. So I will provide you with the date and time as soon as we are able to calendar that. Again, I want to thank city council members who have attended the press. And there are many other faces in this room. But at this time, this is the conclusion, this portion for this press conference. Thank you very much.